Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain episode 256. Andrew Eisen here. So, what if I watched episode 7 of What If? Well, I did. And it may just be my favoritist episode of the run so far. So, episode 7 is, what if Odin didn't kidnap Loki as a baby and raise him as his own, but returned him to the Frost Giants? Well, everybody's happier. Pretty much. Guess the moral of the story is don't kidnap babies. Or anyone else. So it's... After a couple pretty dark episodes, this one was just fun. Odin goes into the Odin sleep. Frigga goes to hang out with her friends. And Thor goes to Earth with the entire MCU to party. And party pooper, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Kobe Smulders, Maria Hill, I think, she calls in Captain Marvel to punch Thor in the head until he stops partying. And then Jane Foster calls Thor's mom on him. Mrs. Thor's partying on Earth instead of studying like you told him to. So now Thor has to clean up Earth before Frigga gets there and catches him being bad. It is wonderfully fun and funny, and I liked it. And I don't have too much to say about that. So let's move on to Star Wars Visions. A show that I had the wrong impression about. I had made assumptions about Star Wars Visions, and all of those assumptions were wrong. I had assumed that like the Hello, Lindy. I'd assumed that Star Wars Visions, like the Marvel and Star Wars shows before it, would be aired one episode a week. Maybe they'd air the first 2 episodes the first week, and then each subsequent week would be the rest of the episode. Would 1 episode per successive week. Nope, dropped them all at once. Oh. Didn't realize they were doing it that way. Okay. I'd figured that, like What If, they'd be the half-hour episodes. No, they're shorts of different length. They range from about 13 to 22 minutes long, depending. Oh. Okay. I also figured that Star Wars Visions, being produced by Japanese companies, would be presented in Japanese with English subtitles by default. Nope. Wrong again. No, they default to English. You can switch the audio track to Japanese, but the only English track is closed captioning, and it's a closed caption for the English track, which is a bit different from the Japanese track. Which one is the original language? Might depend on the short, but it looks, at least for some of the episodes, it looked like the Japanese track matched the lip flaps a bit better. So, anyway, I watched it in Japanese with closed captioned subtitles. Disney, you have lots of money. You can afford to put an English subtitle track. Sometimes I have trouble hearing. Some people are hard of hearing, but not deaf. So, I'm glad that you have closed captioning. That's great. But closed captioning and English subtitles, not the same thing. Should have them both. Hey, Cafe. Hey, Anime Momo. So, I watched the first 3 episodes, I believe, of Star Wars Visions. And I didn't like it. Didn't hate it, just wasn't doing anything for me. And I thought maybe I'm just in a bad mood, because it's been kind of a bad month of movies for me. The monthly movie mini reviews for September are probably going to be a little depressing because I haven't really... Everything I had watched up to that point had been either outright bad or meh. So I was kind of disappointed with the first 3 episodes of Star Wars Visions. I thought I'll watch some more tomorrow the next day. Maybe I'm just having an off day. No. Star Wars Visions, I've seen all 9 episodes and just didn't do anything for me. I found it rather dull. Not bad, just not good. A lot to like. I thought there were a lot of... I thought a lot of the... visual design was interesting. A lot of the ideas were good. There were a lot of good ideas, like individual episodes. Like, oh, that's an interesting concept. I like that idea. But overall, I just found it remarkably dull. And I was when I watched the 4th episode, I think let me see. First one, second, third, 4th. Yeah. So I'd watched the first 3 episodes. I went, I'll watch them tomorrow. And then I watched the 4th episode the next day and found out it was like exactly the same as the first episode. I was like, oh no. Because first episode, village out in the middle of nowhere. Bad guys invade the village. Lone Jedi drives them off. Okay? Exact same thing happens in the 4th episode. Village out in the middle of nowhere. There are bad guys. Lone Jedi and Lone Jedi's droid beat back the bad guys. I'm like, oh god, I hope they aren't all like this. Cafe Fox asked, is this like Animatrix but for Star Wars? Yeah, essentially yes. Several different animation studios from Japan were tasked with making Star Wars shorts. And they all seem to take place in, like, the far-flung future. Like, way post-episode, whatever the last one was, 9. Because they're like, oh, Jedi have been extinct for a long time. There aren't even lightsabers around anymore. Oh, my god, does this series have a hard-on for lightsabers? It's... A lightsaber is not special. It's not worthy of reverence or worship. It's a tool, like a hammer. Anyone can pick up a hammer and hit things with it. A lightsaber is exactly the same thing. I really do not like the idea that only Jedi or people in tune with the Force can even handle a lightsaber. No. It's a tool. It has an on switch. Anyone can turn on a lightsaber and swing it around. It's a stick with a button on it. Now, yeah, you gotta be Jedi level of awesome to, like, block blaster bolts with a blade. Sure. But otherwise... 5th or 6th episode, the bad guys lay a trap to lure the Jedi in. What's the bait? Lightsabers. So we're baiting our Jedi trap with a lightsaber because you just put a lightsaber out and Jedi just come flocking. That I don't like that. Makes the Jedi look stupid. And actually, honestly, I am so tired of Jedi and lightsabers. Jedi are cool, lightsabers are cool, but oh my god, enough! I think that's probably why Tatooine Rhapsody, the 3rd episode? Second episode, was probably my favorite just because there's no damn Jedi in it, no damn lightsabers, there's almost one. It's about a rock band. And they're just trying to be the bestest band in the galaxy. And one of them gets in trouble with Jabba the Hutt and gets kidnapped. So they barter with Jabba, off-screen, to do one last concert at the pod racing stadium. And they do, and the crowd loves it, and they're like, haha, Jabba, you can't hang our friend now because the crowd would be really pissy, so how about this? You be our first sponsor. That's cool. It's not very well told, but it's a really cool idea. Apparently, the lead singer is a Jedi Padawan at some point, because you got to have a Jedi in there somewhere. It has absolutely no bearing on the story at all. But I like the idea of just following a band through Star Wars. I've always said this about Star Wars. It's an entire galaxy that you can do stuff in. You could do a crime stuff. I mean, you've got Jabba right there. You could do a music biopic. Just follow the Max Rebo band or whatever. You know? The career of Cy Snoodles or whoever. You could the Mandalorian is a lot of has a lot of Western tropes in it. I had a YouTube video a couple of years ago talking about I think a Han Solo movie and saying that's boring. Here's all kinds of other things you could do. Again, Star Wars Visions not bad, just kind of left me cold. Which was interesting because after I finished all 9, I looked up reviews and everyone seems to really dig it. And that bums me out because I want to really dig it too, and I just don't. Oh well. Let me scrub through the episode, see if there's anything more I want to talk about. No. Oh, the one about the android who wants to be a Jedi. One of, I think, only 2 episodes that don't star a human. You know, you got a whole galaxy of different people, different races. Don't always have to star humans, especially when it's animated. I know you kind of have to when it's live action because, you know, makeups and animatronics and CG and stuff are expensive. But this is animated. You could follow a robot. You could follow any weird creature you want. Anyway, the robot one, he didn't have to look exactly like Astro Boy. Another short that didn't totally work, but had an interesting concept. And that was mainly my problem, is they all had kind of interesting concepts, usually. Oh, The Elder. That's another one. Village out in the middle of nowhere. There's a bad guy. It's a group of Jedis. Take him down. Okay. Whatever. The one with the rabbit girl. Really like that one. That one needed to be expanded because, again, it's a fine concept, but they just didn't have the time to go into anything. So I have to fill in the blank spaces myself, and I shouldn't have to write your story for you. I'm lazy. Yeah. Chock full of good ideas, but just 1, too in love with lightsabers, and 2 might have been just a budget thing. Like they just didn't have the time to really develop a full story. Shorts are hard because you don't have a lot of time. But yeah, Star Wars Visions, while it had a bunch of fun ideas and concepts, overall just left me cold. So cold. So Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct this week. And it said 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I said, okay. So I made sure I cleared 40 minutes out of my schedule. And I sat at my computer. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And then I looked and went, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Oh, okay. So sat there for about 4 minutes before I realized it was the wrong day. Cafe Fox says, have I seen Love, Death, and Robots? Yes, I have. Both seasons. First season is better. The first season, very similar to Star Wars Visions. It's a anthology of shorts. They're just sci-fi shorts. Most of them are animated. Actually, I think all of them are animated except one is live action with some animated elements. Um, but they don't even take place in the same universe. They're just sci-fi animated shorts, and they range from really very good to yeah, it's cute. Um, Pardon me. So first season, I watched like the first 4 episodes, and I was like, first season's like 16 episodes, something like that. First 4 episodes are like great. I mean, just one after one, just knocking them out of the park. I'm like, oh my god, I love this. This is great. Why is nobody talking about this? And then I kept watching. I went, oh. It doesn't fall on its face, but man, the best episodes are like the first 4. And then the last 14 or whatever it is are decent. Pretty good. Got some good stuff in it. There's only like 1 or 2 in the back 14 that are really good. Season 2, I don't remember any standouts. And again, I can't remember which episodes appear in which season. But yeah, I really did enjoy Love, Death, Robots. So at the very least, check out the first few episodes of the first season, because I really like them. Anyway, Nintendo Direct. Nintendo is by far the best at digital video game presentations. By what metric, you may ask? Mine. The metric I am measuring this by is I have probably 2 notes of Nintendo Directors, probably like 24 entries, 24 different games here. I did not come away from a single game during the Nintendo Direct thinking to myself, okay, what's the game though? Which is, if you watch this podcast and you listen to my inane yammering, Cafe says the episode of the Santa creature was great. Yes, it was. I think that was season 2. Really liked that one. If you listen to me, you know that one thing that drives me nuts about video game trailers is video game trailers that don't give me any idea of what the hell the game actually is. Not a problem in Nintendo Direct. Whatever you think of the actual games, you may have watched all 40 minutes of the Nintendo Direct and said, wow, nothing for me. But you have to admit, you're not confused as to what any of these games actually are. So let's go through the Nintendo Direct. Nintendo, whee! Alright, so a little earlier than I would have expected, Capcom did a very brief tease of the Monster Hunter Rise expansion, or Ultimate Edition, or G-Rank Edition, or Sunbreak is what it's called. It's, not Mario Party, sorry, wrong line. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is they're going to sell it as a DLC expansion instead of a bespoke game, much like they did with Iceborne. That was a $40 DLC expansion. I like that, rather than selling it as a separate purchasable game. There probably will be a buy base game and expansion, for $60, but that comes out next summer. Capcom is at TGS, which I think is like next week, and they've got like an hour block. So I figured if we were going to hear about Monster Hunter, we'd hear about it next week. But it's nice to. It is nice. Although I find it kind of funny because I saw a bunch of people on social media and YouTube and such dedicating pages of commentary and 20-40 minute analysis videos to the 1 minute trailer or teaser for, hey, Monster Hunter Rise expansion next year. I'm glad they're excited, but golly, guys. So, yay. Next, Mario Party Superstars. I don't care. Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars. That's a mouthful of a name, but it looks really interesting. There's a demo that I downloaded and haven't played it yet. So I'm actually, when I was watching the trailer, I was thinking of Hands of Fate, which I really liked. So I'm really interested in trying this out. Looks neat. It's an RPG It's like a tabletop RPG played with a deck of cards. Again, Hand of Fate seems to be like uh, the closest game I can think to kind of describe what's going on there. But what do you think? Lindy looks pretty neat. I have no idea what she looks like. I think you're asking what Lindy thinks of Kirby. Okay. Anime says, "Hey Andrew, do you think Lindy looks pretty neat?" Lindy, you look pretty neat. A look we should all aspire to. Pretty neat. Um, where's Kirby's coming along? Okay, Disco Elysium, the final cut. I have no interest in this game. I don't like the style, but everyone really seems to love it, so maybe I'll try it at some point. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamities getting the second wave of DLC. That's nice. Chocobo GP, it's F-Zero with the Chocobo, so okay. It's always weird when you have like running characters like Chocobo or Sonic riding a car. But I guess if I could run 1,000,000 miles an hour, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna sit my butt down in an Uber at some point. Just because I can doesn't mean I am gonna run everywhere. Lindy says, "Would you be surprised? I don't really care for video games. I'm just here for Andrew's yammering." Flattering. All right, let's see. The last Smash Brothers character is going to be revealed soon. All right, chat. Aw, shucks, says Lindy. She looks neat. Okay, chat. Put your guesses. Who's gonna be the last Smash character? Who do I want it to be? I'd say Lara Croft. I think she's definitely earned her place in the video game hero pantheon. Who will it be? I don't know. I think probably like Sora from Kingdom Hearts is probably more likely, because Smash Brothers could really use another dude with a sword. So Smash. Okay, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. It looks like Lindy. Pretty neat. Animal Crossing, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing in October where they talk about some new updates, so I don't care, but I bet my sister's going to be all over that. By the way, one of the incentives for the Extra Life Charity Marathon this year is going to be playing Animal Crossing, and one of the milestones is going to be we'll play some of my sister's Animal Crossing on stream. One of the incentives will be people who donate X amount will get my sister's friend code so they can go play in her village and leave her presents or dig holes or something. So still working out the details on that. Well, I lost my place on the list. Mario Golf Super Rush is getting some free updates, so that's nice. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition. Okay. KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, is coming to Switch. The remake? No, the old one. yeah, we're not getting the remake. No. I mean, maybe someday, but no, that's the old one. But the old one's good, so hey. Cloud editions of Dying Light and Dying Light 2 are available. I have not played any cloud stuff on the Switch. No idea how well that works. Triangle Strategy, as we all expected. Project Triangle Strategy, like Project Octopath Traveler, would just end up losing Project, and that would be the name of the game. So that's coming out at some point. Metroid Dread. It's official. That is going to be the main game for the Extra Life Charity Marathon, and one of my very awesome patrons gifted Metroid Dread. So Extra Life 2021, brought to you by one of my patrons. So also the money I spend on this comes out of my Patreon monies, so all my patrons are definitely contributing. So thank you, everybody. Cafe Fox is excited when I heard there was going to be a Chocobo racing game, but it's a kart racer. I thought you would actually be racing Chocobos FF7 style. Yeah, it's an odd choice. I mean, if you like kart racers, I'm sure it's fine, but okay. So, if you subscribe to Nintendo Online, you can play some NES and Super NES games. Well, Nintendo is going to add some N64 and Genesis games if you pay more. How much more? Don't know yet. I think Nintendo Online's like $20 a year or something like that. I don't know. So maybe for 25 or 30 a year, you'll get to play a couple N64 and Genesis games too. Oh, and they'll sell you N64 and Genesis controllers. $50 a pop. Which is funny, because they didn't cost that much back in the mid-90s. I know. I was there. Oh well. Shadowrun Trilogy. Castlevania Advanced Collection. ActRaiser is being brought to the Switch. You remember ActRaiser? Of course you do. Unless you don't. It's an odd game. I wouldn't say it's a good game. It's pretty enough by standards of the time. It's got some great music. It plays okay. It's really more interesting than it is good. It's a combination side-scrolling action slasher stabby with a sword kind of game, combined with a city building sim. Yeah. It's weird. So, are they bringing that like virtual console? No, full remake. I would not have called that. It's called ActRaiser Renaissance. Okay. It's kind of like, hey, we're doing a full remake of Caveman games. Really? Who was asking for that? I mean, okay. Caveman games was silly and fun. ActRaiser? Really? Yeah. Sure. Deltarune Chapter 2 is coming to Switch. Then we had a montage of games. Hot Wheels Unleashed, Surviving the Aftermath, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Wreckfest, Pac-Man, Xevious, and Rune Factory 5. Splatoon 3 is more Splatoon. And we finally got to see some Bayonetta 3. And it has Lappy, the dog from Astral Chain. And Bayonetta has... it wouldn't be funny if the last Smash character was the ActRaiser sword dude. Bayonetta has is keeping her short hair, but she's got massive braids all over the place. I really like the trailer because there seems to be a lot of summon monster and get monster to go fight, and while monster go fight, Bayonetta's just sitting there boogieing. It's really funny. I like it. So that that was the Nintendo Direct. It's a good Direct. Had a lot of games in it. Had a lot of announcements. Announcements for announcements. Those are always fun. When you use a Nintendo Direct to announce other Nintendo Directs. Seriously, there was the Animal Crossing Direct and the last Smash Brothers Direct for the character reveal. Yeah, fun stuff. Lappy for Smash. There you go. And every single again, every single game that they showed, I may not have been interested in them. Like Super Mario Party Superstars. Do not care. Never cared about Mario Party. But I know what it is. All those games, I know what the games are, which is great. Thanks, Nintendo. Now, you know, stop being crap with copyright. You know, just don't do that. You know, let people mod Smash Brothers Melee so that they can play it in tournament settings. You dork. Anyway. It is time to regale you all with my continued adventures through the lands of Dark Souls. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear about my Dark Soul-y exploits? So, I'm not sure where I would rank it, because I've not yet beaten the game, because I'm bad at it and playing it very slowly. But I have a feeling that Dark Souls is going to rank up there among games with the best worlds. I would say that Breath of the Wild probably has the best video game world. As far as feeling like a believable, varied, lived-in real world. I'd also put Xenoblade Chronicles up there. Dark Souls is up there too. I am really enjoying how the world and lands of Burbank or wherever it takes place are laid out. Really enjoying that. The environments are varied. I love the way everything loops back on each other, so getting places is not a pain in the butt. And that's how the game has been working. So you start at point A, and you go venturing off, and then you open a door, and it's like, oh, hey, I'm back at point A. So now I don't have, if I want to get over here, I don't have to go through this entire thing anymore, and I don't have to walk all the way back. The only time I was thrown off is there's a point where you go through the Darkroot Garden, I think, and you fight a giant laser spewing butterfly. And you climb up a tower, and you get a key, and there's just nothing there except the key. And I was like, where's the shortcut back to the Firelink Shrine or wherever? Oh, it's a dead end? Oh, I have to manually walk all the way back? I just came all the way to this dead end for the key, and now I go back and open the door that the key opens, and I can... Oh. Oh, okay. But usually you get to the end of an area and you open a door and there's a passage back to the main area, which is great, so you can wander back and forth and you don't waste time walking backwards. So where we last left off, we'd left the Firelink Shrine. We'd gone all the way down through Blight Town, down to the swamp at the bottom. We had gone into the spider lair and beat the spider lady. And then we'd rung the second bell. And there I expected to be like an elevator to take me back up. No. I guess I had to walk all the way back through the swamp and climb up through Blight Town and across the Valley of Drakes and then up through New Lordo, whatever, and then back to the Firelink Shrine. So I continued on down into the Demon Ruins, or whatever it's called, and I beat a big monster, drained the lava, fought through a horde of Taurus demons to get at their goods, but their goods were in lava, and I didn't have a anti-lava ring, so I couldn't get at them, so I kind of wasted my time there. Oh well. Then I fought through a bunch of Capra demons, and then... some more Taurus demons, and then there was a big a fog gate, but this one was yellow and I couldn't get through it. And then I went down the final path, and I got boxed in by giant caterpillars, and they killed me. That's where we left off. So, I walked back down there, and knowing that the boxed-in caterpillars were coming, I just sprinted past them. But now I'm trapped on one side of 4 caterpillars. Well, I happen to have spit poison spell. So I spat poison at them and sat there for like 5 minutes while they died, because they're rooted to the spot. Because they're like graboids from the Tremors movie. They just pop out of the ground and they wiggle there. These are popping out of the ceiling. And they can't really move. So I just poisoned them and went, I'll wait. Which is pretty funny. What was past them? I don't know, like a Titanite shard or something in a chest. Well, no elevator or anything back up to the Firelink Shrine, so I had to walk all the way out of the demon something or other. Demon cave, demon... I had it. Demon zone, demon land, town, demon place. Back up through the Spider Lady's place, back across the swamp, back up the Blight Town, back over to Firelink Shrine. And as I was walking to Firelink Shrine... I didn't want to do that, so I went to the hollow, the Great Hollow. It's a tree. So you go into the tree, it's a big hollow tree, and you work your way down. Hey, you know those big bug-eyed critters that you first see in the sewer? That noxious gas they spit at you? That doesn't poison you, that curses you. I got cursed. What does curse do? It chops off half your health permanently. So your health bar is now like that. Which, I mean, everything kills you in one hit anyway, so it's not really that big a deal. So I got to the bottom of the tree, and there are big walking mushrooms, which can, with arms, that can kill you in one hit. Of course, I had half health. Then once you get out the bottom of the tree, you are in Ash Lake, where there's another Hydra. Just like the one upstairs, only I guess this one's tougher. So I ran across the beach, and the Hydra launched itself out of the water. Woo! And over the beach and onto the other side, so it could keep spitting water at me. So I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran all the way to the other end of the beach, down a narrow path, to where I found a dragon. A nice dragon. Who said, hey, you want to join the Covenant of the Dragon? I said, boy, howdy. So I joined the Covenant of the Dragon. Don't know what that does. So I walked around back of the dragon, see if there's anything back there. Just its tail. So I gave its tail a nice little whack. And I got myself a dragon sword. That I was at that point way too... You have to be like strength 50 to wield, so... Couldn't really do much with it. I mean, you can still swing it around, but it doesn't do any damage until you raise your stats. And that was it. So now I had to walk all the way back across Ash Beach, dodging the Hydra, because I didn't want to fight it, because the Hydra is a pain in the butt. It's actually not terribly tough to fight, but if it spits water at you, it's going to kill you. And the water you can't block, you can't roll through, and you have to be really far away from, because even if it hits over there, like splash damage will kill you. So it's one of those things where you get up close to the shore and it rams its head into the beach and you smack it in the noggin to get its head to pop. And you just hope it keeps doing that. But I'll talk about that when I get to the other Hydra. So I left that one alone, so I'll be back for you later. So all the way back across Ash Beach, up the Great Hollow Tree, out across the swamp, climb up through Blight Town, across the Valley of the Drakes, into New Lorando or whatever it is, up the elevator, past where the Firekeeper is. Firekeeper? Hello? Oh, she dead. Aw. Hey, gold armor guy who's always sitting over here. Did you see what happened to the... Oh, he's gone. Oh, well. Waste not, want not. I guess I'll just pick up the Firekeeper soul. So I got the Firekeeper soul, and I got a... Or, not a Firekeeper soul, but I got a, like, a black eyeball. And I read the description. It says, the person who, used this item to invade the realm of the person who killed the Firekeeper to restore her soul. I was like, okay. but the item usage thing was X'd out, so I guess I have to use it in a specific spot. Okay. Whatever. She wasn't very talkative anyway. So, I climbed back up to the Firelink Shrine and saved at the bonfire, which I found out I couldn't do because the bonfire was out. Which is weird, because none of the bonfires had gone out before. Not a problem, I'll just light it, like I do with the rest of them. But I couldn't, because the Firekeeper's dead. Which is weird, because none of the other fires have a Firekeeper. So, why did the game just arbitrarily get rid of the save point at the main hub area? And that kind of ticked me off. Earlier in the game, I'd heard some snoring over by the Firelink Shrine. It's a big, if you see Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Snake Freddy looks exactly like that. But he's a nice guy. He says, you need to go get the Lord Vessel. I said, okay. But I was a little irritated about the lack of Firelink Shrine fire, because it felt completely arbitrary. Like, it doesn't even make story sense. Oh, the Firekeeper's gone. So? None of the other fires need a Firekeeper. Why does this one? You telling me I can't build a fire? How good could she keep fire? She's locked in a cell, like, down the path a ways. So I stopped playing the game and thought about it. And after a couple hours, I was, calmed down. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think what they're trying to do is direct me over to the gate that opened when I rang the second bell. I think that's the game encouraging you to go over there. We're getting rid of the hub fire, so you can stop dicking around over here. Go over there. I went, okay, if that's the case, alright, I can see that. Of course, I didn't do that right away. I dicked around with a few more things. Because I came out of there cursed, and I was thinking, you know what? The area with the ghosts, I had this transient curse item which says temporarily curse you so that you can fight ghosts. I thought, well, I'm totally cursed. Maybe I can fight ghosts. So I wandered over there, and I could indeed fight ghosts. Of course, I died pretty quickly because I'd never fought ghosts before and didn't know how they attacked. And of course I ended up warping back to, I think, the blacksmith. I was like, I don't want to walk all the way up the stairs, across the bridge, out, and not across the, but yeah, it is a bridge, up the stairs, door, across the cathedral, elevator down to the Firelink Shrine, down to the fire pit, down the thing, into the elevator, ride the elevator down, across the land, across the bridge. I didn't want to do that. So I'm like, fine, I'll cure myself of curse. I'll go play with the, I'll go see what the, I bought the medallion that opens the door in the darker garden. And there's a bunch of jackasses in that forest who are mean to me. Just keep chasing me around. Didn't do anything to them. Stupid forest people. So I explored and I found a white gate and went through the white gate, and there's a gorgeous puppy, giant puppy. So Clifford, the big white dog, and Clifford has a sword in his mouth and he keeps trying to hit me with it. I wanted us to be friends. Even though I'm a cat person, I was like, we can be friends, Clifford. Clifford said no. Clifford said no. So, took me a couple tries, because what I was failing to realize the first couple of tries is Clifford has a double spin that is unblockable. You will die. You have to get out of the way of that when you can't block it. Which it took me a while to realize that was the case, because one of the problems with this game is sometimes the enemy's weapons will just clip through your shield and hurt you. And I thought that like the first few times I was like, but I blocked. Did the game screw that up again? Gosh darn it. Run back. Try the dog again. Bad doggo, says Ronan. I found that the best strategy for doggo was just roll through the swipes and stay underneath him and just swat him in the tummy until he died. So killed the dog. Felt kind of bad about it. Got a ring or something that says you can now walk in the abyss, and I don't know where that is, so I'll figure that out later. So I'm walking back, and I cross this bridge and going back into the area where the forest people are, and there's this Cheshire cat looking thing in the window. I'm like, were you always there? Because I've been running through here because I've been chased by forest people, so I didn't notice you until I was walking back. So I talked to the cat, the Cheshire cat. The Cheshire cat says, hey, you want to join my covenant? I said, do I? It says, great. Here's a ring, and if you wear the ring, I will summon you to fight invaders. Until then, the forest people are your buddies, and they won't attack you. But don't attack them, because that would be mean. I said, yeah, absolutely. So now I can explore the forest at my leisure, and they don't bother me. So that's nice. I wore the ring for a while, but I never got summoned, so maybe that's probably an online thing. So I'm wandering around the Dark Root Basin, and I find a bridge and a ladder that leads to the lake where the Hydra is. Not the Ash Lake Hydra down at the bottom of the hollow, but the Dark Root Basin one. And I thought, well, I've got a bow and arrow. Can I reach it? No. At least not with the bow and arrow I had. I had to get by the time I got into range, it was spitting water at me. So I'm like, I didn't have to spend 20,000 souls on the thing to get into the Dark Root Basin. I could have gone here, but would have had to get past the Hydra first. Well, time to face the Hydra. So back up through the basin, cross the garden, down the switchback, over there, kill the ice golem, whatever the hell this they are. And it took a few attempts, because it's a matter of, can you get over to the Hydra without getting hit by the water balls? Once you get there, it's a matter of the thing just slams its heads into the ground, and you smack him, you bop him on the noggin one by one until all of its heads explode. And just like happened the first time, its last head, this one did not stick in a wall. Because remember what happened last time is its other head was like on the other side of a rocky outcrop, so I went to walk around the outcrop and I fell into the water. Because there's just a absolute drop-off in the water. I guess the Hydra's not standing on anything, it's just swimming. And there's just a kill plane out in the water that you can't see, and that's stupid. I don't like it. So because you can't see where it is. And it looked like this last time, it looked like the Hydra was smashing its head too far into the water where I couldn't get at it. But I managed to get it eventually, and so I'm exploring around the outer edge of that lake. And I get to the other side, and there's a gold ice monster. So I kill it, and it dissolves into a lady, and she says, "Thank you for freeing me. I'll be around." And so I go around, so I continue my circuit of the lake, and I just completely drop off. Because you can't see it, which is stupid. So I respawn, go back, and I get back to where the lady was, and there's a glowy thing, and I pick up the glowy thing, and I get some pants or whatever. And then on my way back, I saw like some glowing sigil on a rock, and I hit yes, and she goes, "You've summoned me! Now I can sell you stuff." So that was nice. So at this point, I was like, okay, I guess it's finally time to explore it's Sen's Fortress, where the gate that opened when I rung the bells, because I think that's where the game is directing you to go. That's why it eliminates the Firelink Shrine, to try and funnel you over there, so you don't do the wandery thing. So I went into Sen's Funhouse, which is my favorite area so far. It is a house of traps and swinging guillotine, the pendulum blades, and floor panels. If you step on them, they shoot darts. And rolling boulders. Oh, it is so awesome. I love it. I love it to death. I can imagine other players, they hate this area. I can totally see that. Now, Dark Souls. Now, I've played RPGs since I was very, very young. So because of Dungeons and Dragons and Dragon Quest and all kinds of RPGs, I'm aware of what a mimic is. And when I first started playing Dark Souls, I was aware of the reputation of Dark Souls. And I was looking at the treasure chest, I'm like, I bet there's mimics in this game. Yes, there are. So I find the first treasure chest in Sen's Fortress, and the first thing that I notice is it's not parallel or perpendicular to a wall. Usually you go into a room, you see a chest, it's snug up against a wall somewhere. This was in the middle of the room in kind of catty corner, which was immediately suspicious. And I looked at this chest, and this chest looked at me. And I looked at this chest, and I think it was breathing. So I snuck around this chest, and I double hand whacked it in the back, and that sucker stood up. Now, usually mimics are rendered as a treasure chest that just opens and it's got teeth and a tongue. Kudos to From Software for designing probably the coolest mimic I have ever seen, because this thing's... Imagine your classic Dragon Quest mimic with Slender Man. This thing doesn't just open up to reveal tongue and teeth. It's got long, lanky, gangly limbs. It is super creepy, and I love it to death. Luckily, I'm very good at... I have not been caught unawares by one yet, so I don't know what they do. I've beat it to death before it's even had a chance to attack. Also, another visual indication seems to be that good chests have a coil of chain next to them, because they're all chained to the floor. But the mimic chest, the chain is not coiled, it's like laying out straight, so that's another way to tell, I guess. Anyway, so you go into Sen's Fortress and you work your way up to the tower, and there are two light bullshit moments in Sen's Tower, Sen's Fortress. One I would say is, I told you there's the rolling balls of doom. Well, you get high enough and you find the ball rolling mechanism, and you can move it so that the balls fall down another path. And you can use that to knock out a wall, and you find a guy in a cage, and you let him go, and he's like, hey, thanks, I'll be at the Firelink Shrine. I said, cool, see you there. Oh, and our buddy who was sitting by the front gate going, I don't know how to open the gate, guess I'll just sit here. You find him somewhere else, he's like, I can't get past these rolling balls, guess I'll just sit here. So there's another way you can, move the ball path so that he can move. The problem is that thing gets reset somehow. I thought, is there a dude somewhere resetting it? If there is, I've never seen him. Does it automatically reset itself? I sat in that room and stared at it for 5 minutes. It never reset. So, I don't know what's going on there, but I got killed by a boulder, and I'm like, why is there a boulder on this path? I moved it. Who reset it? I don't know what's going on there. Oh well. So I get to the roof. And you look across the other roof and you see a giant who's just got a big pile of balls, and he's got the balls and he's dropping them in a hole. I guess he just stays there and he drops balls in a hole all day. And I walk up a flight of stairs and it explodes into fire, and I'm like, ah. I don't know where that came from. So I tried to run past it and I got hit with fire and I died. Worked my way back up there. Okay, it's fireballing. I'm looking around. I don't know what's exploding. I can't figure it out. Okay, fire's starting to die down. Run! Ah, my character staggers because there was just a little bit of fire left. I'm like, oh, you have to wait until the fire is completely gone before you go barreling through. Okay, unfortunately, staggering got me stuck in the space long enough that I got hit with another firebomb, so Third time, go back up there, look around. I finally spot the asswipe that's chucking firebombs. That I was like, okay, not bullshit. Finally spotted him. Really hard to spot. Anyway, so I get up to the roof, avoid that guy, find the white misty door, and fight the boss. Who's another neat thing is I saw him from another vantage point earlier. Just big knight dude. Another thing I like about the game, nice variety of enemies. I was afraid towards the beginning that there would just be a bunch of dudes in armor, just be a bunch of dudes, and some are larger than others. And this guy's a huge dude, like you come up to his knee. But you know, you've got the dog with the sword, you got the spider lady, you got the gargoyles, you got the variety of the Taurus demons, the Capra demons, you got the centipedes that burrow through the ground, you've got the snake men, yeah, got all kinds of cool stuff. You know, the butterfly, the hydra, all nice variety. This was just a dude in armor, but giant dude in armor. Really easy though, beat him my first try. So, yeah, I just smacked him in the leg, and he buckled, and I smacked him in the leg again, and he fell on his ass, and he stayed there for like nearly 20 seconds. Kind of like the Moonlight Butterfly, which got him a second try. Because long as you just stay away from the butterfly lasers, eventually it just lands and lets you hit it in the face for like 20 seconds. So, touched the glowy bit, and some gargoyles carried me off into the land of Anno Lando, or something. Ronan says, dudes in armor, you say? Cough. Dark Souls 2, cough. Oh, does Dark Souls 2 go a little bit overboard with the dudes in armor? But, so, I'm some gargoyles grab me, and they take me up the side of the mountain, up over a wall, and the music's going. Yeah, it's doing that thingy, and the sun is setting, and there's this, you know, where the undead burg is, this dilapidated town that's completely fallen apart. This is this pristine white marble buildings as far as the eye can see. Obviously, the rich people live here. Actually, I don't think anyone lives there. But it was pretty empty. So the gargoyle drops me off, and I'm exploring around. Find another bonfire with a firekeeper. I'm like, don't die. So far, she hasn't. So I'm wandering around, and I wander up a flying buttress through a window, and I start walking across the rafters and get down onto the ground floor, and there's this gigantic painting, and it says, would you like to look at the painting? I said, I would like to look at the painting. And I get sucked into the painting. Didn't see that come in Dark Souls, but okay, got sucked into the painting. So now I am in painting land, and this is just a castle on a snowy mountain. It really feels like From Software wanted to have a snowy castle level, but didn't know where in Burbank it didn't know where to put it. So it's like, you fall through a painting portal like in Mario 64. We just want our snowy castle. You know what? Fair enough. Really fun area. Introduces harpies, which keep smothering my head between their thighs. Not a terrible way to go, all things told, but the attack is really weird because they do this thing where they leap into the air and they lunge at you and land on your shoulders and then just pop your head like a grape. And if they get on your shoulders, you're not wriggling out of that one. That one feels weird because the way they home in on you just feels unnatural, so it's really hard to figure out exactly how you're supposed to dodge that. I think that could have used a couple more animation passes because it just doesn't feel right. But still a cool enemy. The other new enemy is a Left 4 Dead bloater, which I had to switch weapons to a spear so I could poke at it because it pops into not poison you, toxin you, which means you better run back to a bonfire and reset the stage because otherwise you're going to die. You're not going to heal through that forever. So it's another nice thing where you've got your bonfire at the start of the stage. You go into the castle entrance. There's a closed door, and you climb up and you go around the castle, down the tower, into the courtyard, and open the door. So now you don't have to go around the whole place. It's great. There's a like 15 or 16 spear dudes in the courtyard, which I ground them for experience, so I raised myself a couple levels while I was there. Because I had the poison spell, so I just run up to them, spit poison, and then go battle some other enemies, and a couple minutes later, 6,000 souls. Oh, there's another undead dragon. Same thing that was in the Valley of the... Oh, I had gone back through the Valley of the Drakes and defeated the undead dragon. Just because I wanted to see if it could, and it could. So there's another one here, and it's blocking the bridge, and so I defeat it, walk down the bridge, and its ass end is on the other side of the bridge. So I smacked its ass end, and its ass end stood up. Didn't try to stomp on me, probably couldn't see or hear me. So I walked under its legs, and I guess I could have dropped down. What I later would find out, that's a way to skip, I guess, that other courtyard area. If you're speed running, you could just drop down there, I guess. But I went back, climbed up the tower, beat it some harpies, went into an underground area with these skeletons on spiky wheels that just roll around. It's pretty cool. Found a key to the annex, went in the annex, gathered some supplies in there, then went and down the corridor and met the boss for this stage, who is a very tall woman with a scythe and a tail. And she didn't attack me, so I didn't attack her, because that's how I roll. You don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. I wish the dog would not have messed with me. So I went up and I talked to the lady with the scythe, and she says hi. I said hi. She says, exit's over there. I said, all right. You good? She said, yeah. It's all right. So I left. I guess I could have fought her. No reason. She seemed to be minding her own business. She helpfully pointed me towards the exit, so I left. Maybe she'll come back. Maybe she'll assist me later in the game. Who knows? So I walked out of the painting, and we're back in Anno Londo or something. And I have to crawl along the outside of a building and fight knights on a ledge, which is fun. Then I got back in the building and found another blacksmith, who's this giant guy, like a giant, like the one that throwing the steel balls in Sen's Fortress, but he's got a regular sized workbench, so he's like tink 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 tink. It's hilarious. And he had a treasure chest behind him, so I got a treasure chest, so that's nice. Ran into my buddy who was hanging out in Sen's Fortress. The guy was in front of Sen's Fortress, found him again. He's like, stuck in this room, man. There's like 3 knights in this room. I said, all right, I'll take care of him. Took care of the knights. He's like, you're amazing. I said, I know. So I'm continuing wandering around, and I get into a big room, and then suddenly it says, your black eye is vibrating. I said, my what now? So I go into my inventory, and it's that item that lets me take revenge on the dude who killed the Firelink Shrine Firekeeper. So I use my item, and I get transported to an alternate version of that big room, where I think it's the guy in the gold armor who is sitting outside the Firelink Shrine person's cell, but it's hard to tell because he's like in glowing orange armor now, because there's a weird filter on the Phantom Realm or wherever the hell I am. So he's got two buddies, but I killed him, and that seemed to be the thing to do, because then I got warped out again. I was like, oh, I wanted to... Okay. But I got the Firekeeper's soul, so I was like, okay. But I was right near a fog door, so I said, okay, let's see what behind the fog door. So I go through the fog door, and I get a cutscene where, okay, boss time. So more dudes in armor. So really big dude with a hammer, and not as big dude with a spear. So the idea of the fight is you're fighting two dudes in armor. One who's nimble and quick, a smaller dude who's nimble and quick, and a larger dude who's not as fast, but still can still book it when he wants to. So I died pretty much instantly because I didn't know what I was doing. So I go, okay, luckily this is another thing where you get to open doors, and so it's a pretty short walk back to there, so I could try it again pretty easily. And so now that I knew what was coming, I could, I'm like, okay, we got two guys, we've got some pillars in the room that I can hide behind. We've got a game plan in here. So I tried again, and I just tried to keep was focusing on the smaller guy while trying to keep the big guy on the other side of a room, like on the other side of a column. Just stay over there, dude. So I beat the smaller guy, and then the bigger guy's like, over 9,000! He absorbs the soul of the smaller guy, and now he's very angry at me. So I'm like, okay, here comes a hammer swing, and I move, and I smack him, and then I move again, and things are going well, and he jumps up into the air. I'm like, oh, that looks like a butt stomp incoming. So I roll out of the way, and he lands on the ground, and a shockwave kills me. Oh, the butt stomp is an area of effect attack, huh? Okay. Well, shoot. Still, for my second attempt at that fight, I thought I'd done pretty well. So I tried it again. I walk out of the room, kill the two dudes in my way, get to the white door, go through, and instantly die. Like, instantly. I was like, what? Our two golden boys start out at the other end of the room. Through trial and error, I probably tried this fight maybe 10, 12 times. I found out that they have, so far as I've seen, 3 approaches, like 3 sequences they can run when you start the fight. One, at least after the cutscene. One is they walk towards you, which is great because it gives you a chance to get away from the damn wall, because when you first get into an area, 1, the screen has to fade up from the white fog, and 2, the camera's like in the back of your damn head because it's smushed between the wall and you. So it gives you a chance to get away from the wall, see where the guys are, and, steel yourself. Gird them loins! Them loins need girding! The second thing that can happen is the smaller dude does a spear rush, where he just goes pointy point and just zooms across the room at you. If you don't know he's going to do that, you're probably going to get impaled. Golden Boy, that's a good anime. I have seen that. Yeah, it has its charms, it has its moments. It's okay. Some of the jokes land. Anyway, but if you know it's coming, if you're expecting it, it's something you can get out of the way of. But there's a third one, which is similar to the second one, where he does that just lunging lance attack, but it's so fast it's damn near a teleport. And it's so quick that he's on you before the fog gate fades away and you can see what the hell's going on. And it took me a couple of tries to figure out what the hell was going on. I really like this fight. It is incredibly well designed. The idea of this fight is to pitch you against two opponents. One smallish, fast one, and one really large and not as fast one. You're in a big room lined with marble columns. And there are different ways you can approach this. You can try and fight the big guy first and keep the little guy on the other side of him. Or you could try to fight the little guy first and just try to keep the big guy like behind a column. So the idea is to, manage your space and manage your enemies and use the environment to your advantage. Get columns between. If you see a rush coming on, put a column between you two. It's really well thought out and designed. Here's the problem. That fight falls prey to every technical issue this game has. So you've heard me complain about when you go through the fog gate, it's about a second and a half before the fog clears and you can see what's going on. The enemies will capitalize on that. Like the bell gargoyles, they will be on your ass immediately. Golden Boys, if he decides to do that teleporting stab, he will stab you before you even see it coming. Is it fair? No. I mean, I would certainly take advantage of that too, so I can't really fault them. And it does make me feel less bad about cheesing bosses by just, pushing them off the edge or getting them to fall off of a place or something. Because they're going to pull that crap on me. The biggest problem really is when you enter a room, the camera is jammed up against between the wall and your head, so you can't see anything for a second and a half. And then once the fog clears, most of the screen is taken up by your big fat melon. And you gotta move the camera. This particular instance is compounded by the fact that there's a giant knight in the previous room who will chase you to the door if you don't kill him, and who wants to take the time to do it. And he'll clip through the wall and get in your way. I've never been hit by him, but my camera got caught on his shield, which is sticking through the wall from the previous area. That's kind of crap. Your character has limitations. One of them is your stamina gauge. You can only smack things, or block, or roll so many times before you're out of stamina, and you have to rest and let it recharge. The game's enemies seem to have the same restriction most of the time. Sometimes you will have an enemy do 5-6 heavy attacks in a row, which they shouldn't be able to do. They should be abiding the same stamina rules that you're restricted to. You can't just you can't do that because you run out of stamina. They shouldn't be able to do that either. Sometimes they do anyway. They'll just keep spamming heavy attacks until your guard breaks and they stagger you and then kill you. Our golden boys sometimes will do that. I've had the lance dude do 5 heavy lance swings right in a row, just one right after the other. Sometimes I saw them coming and I kept blocking and just ran out of stamina. One time, usually what happens is they'll do like 2 or 3 heavy attacks. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to stop and rest. Counter attack! And then he does another one and impales me. I'm like, what? Dude. There's another restriction that your character must abide, and that is space. So if you're walking down a narrow corridor, it would behoove you to use a spear or a rapier or some stabby weapon. Because anything you do a wide swing on is going to smack the wall and interrupt your attack. Enemies do not have that restriction. They can swing through walls. They don't bounce off walls at all. This becomes particularly problematic in the Golden Boy fight. Because you know I was talking about you want to put a pillar between you and the other dudes? You better back up off that pillar because they can swing. You know, his giant hammer goes right through that pillar. Yeah, you ain't safe on the other side. The guy with the spear, he has a really long spear. He can hit you through all the enemies. This isn't those two specifically. This is all the enemies. They do not bounce off walls. So you can constantly get smacked through solid objects and through walls. And it sucks. I don't like it. From Software, if you're going to remaster the game, this is one of the things you should have remastered. Sometimes, and this is really noticeable with the two Golden Boys, the pathfinding AI will damn near rubber band the character to you such that they will change their momentum to smack you. Like you see the guy with the big guy with the hammer. He's like, I'm gonna charge you. Charge! And you're thinking, okay, he's committed. I'm going to step to the side. Change path! What? And it's not like, you know, it's like leaning into it. I mean, they just no, I'll go this way. It feels wrong. And I've been caught by that several times where they will do straight lunges or charges and I'll get out of the way and they still hit me because they'll just alter their path. Not just when they're running, but in mid-jump. Like, I've had enemies, and the guy with the spear will do this, where he'll do a lunging strike at you. He'll jump through the air to try to stab you, and you get out of the way and he'll adjust his trajectory in the middle of in midair. It's bullshit. Another thing that will happen is they'll do a charge and you'll, here's a column. I'll just get this column between us. And you expect bonk. But a lot of times what will happen is they will go, whoop, whoop. They'll just wrap right around the wall. They'll like they're slingshotting around a planet or something. So, while this particular fight is extraordinarily well designed, I really, really like the setup. Every single technical problem in the game manifests in this specific fight. The problem with the fog doors, the problem with clipping through the walls, the problem with weapons clipping through solid objects, weird-ass pathfinding that changes the character's directories even in mid-air, wonky path correction where they'll wrap around objects instead of slamming into them. The short... This is not really a technical glitch or anything, but you can't lock on to enemies who are a significant distance away. I really wish you could lock on to enemies further, because what you do is you lock onto one enemy and you can flick the camera stick to move the cursor to a different enemy. So when I'm fighting these two, I like to put the camera on one, and if one gets out of my sight, I flick the stick to really quick check where he is. If he's just far enough, I can't, and I have to unlock and manually move the camera, and that's not convenient. Nevertheless, I pushed through these issues and killed the smaller dude again and tried the big dude again, and here comes the butt slam. Okay, run further away. Haha! Still killed me with the shockwave. I'm like, wow, that is a rangy AoE. So I tried it again. Another couple tries, got down to the last guy again. And I was doing pretty well, had him down to a third health. And what I was really having a problem with is I'm a melee fighter in Dark Souls. And you have to get really close to actually smack him. And he has a really long reach. So you wait for him to smack, and then you run in really quick and smack and run out. That's tight timing. That is really hard to do. So, my third chance, I butt stomp again. I just got clipped on the outer end of that damn butt slam, the AOE effect in the butt slam. Hey, hello chaos. So I thought, okay, next time I go in there, I'm gonna take my I'm gonna try some pyromancy because that's got a little bit of range on it. I might be able to not get as close, so we'll see. But I was getting a little irritated with all of the technical issues that are manifesting themselves in an otherwise really cool fight. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go walk back to the Firelink Shrine and say hello to the Firelink keeper, because apparently she's alive now. Oh, and I saved a dude in Sense Fortress, and he said he'd go to the Firelink Shrine, so maybe I'll see him there. So I hoofed it back to the Firelink Shrine and made some new friends. The Sense Fortress guy was there. The guy who was outside the gate, he was there. The guy let out of the cage, he was there and said hey. I restored the Firelink keeper, and she talked to me and said, I don't want to talk to you. I said, all right. So I relit my bonfire, so that's nice. And I took the Crow Express back to the Undead Asylum. And because I wanted to, since I was over here, I wanted to check the nest, which I dropped like a moss clump in to see if there was a prize. And yeah, I got like a free Titanite chunk or something like that. So I'm like, cool, I can drop crap in the nest and get goodies. And while I'm here, I can defeat the other asylum demon, the one that's under the crumbly floor. And it took a couple tries, but I got him. That one's really difficult because the sucker is huge, so you have to get right up on his butt to smack him, which makes it really hard to see what he's doing because you've just got goblin butt in your face. And his main attack is just a big AoE explosion that is really wide. And he's a sturdy boy, so it took a few smacks in the butt, but I did finally. And it's an interesting setup because you have to drop in, and that takes away like half your health right there, unless you use the anti-fall spell, which is a miracle, and I don't have enough faith to use. So you're already starting out with half health, which is an interesting challenge. But got that demon, and so that's where I am in the game now. I need to go back to Anno or Londo or whatever it's called and beat the Golden Boys, which, it's Chaos says if you want to play a good RPG, Tales from Arise. I like the design. I've never been into the Tales games. I've only played, I think, 2 of them. I have Tales of which one do I have? Symphonia? Let me look. Where is it? I know I have it. Is it a GameCube game? Oh, it's a GameCube game. Yeah, Tales of Symphonia. Yeah, so I have Symphonia, the one with Lloyd, and I thought it was okay. The one, Scoot, the one on Wii I thought was crap. Tales of Vesperia, I think was that one. I didn't like it at all. So, but they're all very different. So, oh, Game of the Year so far. Nice. Yeah, I've heard some really nice things about it. So maybe I'll check that out at some point. But yeah, that's where I currently am at Dark Souls. I need to let's see. So there's the new Londo place below the Firelink Shrine where the ghosts are. Need to explore there. There's the catacombs, which there's skeletons in there that just don't stay dead. So I don't know if I need like holy weapons or something. And where else do I have to go? Oh, I still need to kill the Hydra in Ash Lake, but that's way the hell down in down to Blighttown, across the swamp, down the hollow, out across the out to Ash Lake. So that's a long walk. So I'll do that some other time. And the Golden Boys in Anno or Londo. And I guess there's the lady in the painting. Uh, but she's nice. She helpfully pointed out the exit. She wasn't aggressive. I'm sure she would have attacked if I like smacked her. But I guess that's an optional boss fight. Maybe I'll go back and fight her if I beat the game and have nothing better to do. We was the sequel to Symphonia. Yeah, I think. Was it Vesperia or was that a different one? Anyway, I didn't like it. So overall, still quite enjoying Dark Souls, even though I'm very bad at it. Really, Ascend's Fortress was my favorite area, and I really wish From Software had done more than just polish up the graphics. I really wish it had fixed the camera. The camera's just really one of the biggest things, and done a better job at ensuring that the game's enemies abide by the game's rules. Like, their weapons should not clip through the environment. It shouldn't clip through your shield either, and it occasionally does that. Now there are some attacks that are unblockable. There are some unblockable attacks. I realize that, but sometimes a regular attack will just pass straight through your shield for no good reason. You're probably just slightly off center or something, and it's getting around your shield or some weird thing, but it doesn't feel right, and it's annoying. So, camera, get the enemies to stop clipping. They should bounce off walls too. They should not be able to change their trajectory in midair. They should abide by their own internal stamina gauges. They should not be able to do 6 heavy attacks in a row. Vesperia was originally on 360, later came to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Well, what was the Wii one then? Wii Tales of... Oh, was it Tales of Symphonia Dawn of a New World? No, or am I thinking of Tales of Fantasia? That was a GameCube game. Oh my god, I don't know. I can't keep the titles straight. Oh my god, did I miss? Hang on. Oh yeah, hey, let's circle back to the Nintendo Direct. Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, yeah. I forgot to talk about the Mario movie, which comes out next Christmas, Christmas 2022. They announced the cast, and it's a bunch of talented people, but it kind of feels like stunt casting. So here's the cast list for the Mario movie. Fantasia was SNES? Okay, yeah, I can't keep it. There's a bunch of Tales. There's a bunch of Trails games too. Bunch of Tales games, and I can't keep them straight. I played Symphonia? Which one is it? I think it's Symphonia. Played the one on the GameCube. Thought it was okay. Didn't care for the Wii one. Anyway, so Chris Pratt, Mario. It's an odd choice. I mean, he's a good performer, got great comedic timing, and is a solid voiceover artist. Played Emmett in the Lego movies, so Lego animated movies. So, okay, unconventional choice. But it feels like I have literally never in my entire life come across any animation fan who has ever given the slightest shit about celebrity voice casting for animated films. There's got to be someone who's like, I'm not interested in the My Little Pony movie. Oh, Vanessa Hudgens is doing a voice. Well, I'm going to watch it now. Literally, never, ever in my life, ever heard any animation fan give the slightest shit about celebrity voice casting. And I don't know who Vanessa Hudgens is. I just watched My Little Pony last night, so that was good. Luigi, Charlie Day, Peach, Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't know if she's a great performer. No idea if she's good at voiceover. Guess we'll see. Bowser, Jack Black. Okay. Again, this feels like... Maybe these are all talented performers, but this feels like stunt casting. Like, ooh, take our... you don't have to sell us. It's the Mario movie. It doesn't matter. Get the right people. If these are the right people for the roles, great. But get the right people for the roles, because nobody gives the slightest shit who's voicing Mario. They care about the Mario movie. No one cares about the voice cast. Anyway, Donkey Kong is in the movie. Seth Rogen. Okay. Toad, Keegan-Michael Key. Cranky Kong, Fred Armisen. Kamek, Kevin Michael Richardson. And Spike, Sebastian Maniscalco, someone I don't know. I'm not sure who Spike is. I think that's like a Wrecking Crew character, but I'm not sure. Never played the game, so I don't know. So no concept art or trailers or anything, just the voice cast. And Charles Martinet. I'm not sure if it's Martinet or Martinet. But the guy who does the voice of Mario, he's apparently cameoing as several characters in the film. And I know a lot of people are like, why not just have the voice of Mario be, the voice of Mario? Well, on the one hand, what it feels like is because that's not a name. And again, Nintendo, nobody cares. It's Mario. You can just sell it on Mario. Mario's very popular. You don't need a name to make Mario popular. You know? And this feels like that's what you're doing. Maybe Chris Pratt is just the bestest Mario who's ever Mario'd. We'll see in a year. But Charles Martinet, I would not want to listen to Mario's woohoo, waha, ha, hoo, wahoo for 90 damn minutes. That would be irritating as hell. On the other hand, Charles Martinet is a trained and talented actor. I'm sure he could modify the Mario voice to be palatable for 90 minutes. He's a professional. But that's not what's happening, so I hope it's good. It would be awesome to have a great Mario movie. Because if it's a great Mario movie and it does well... Shit, the Sonic movie did well. How could this possibly not work, right? Because if it's good and it does well, then we might get, Metroid movies and Zelda movies and all kinds of cool stuff. And, hey, I like stuff. A trigger warning says we care about Charles Martinet, actually. Yeah, right. No one... Right. The few people who actually care about the... Let me put it this way. Whatever you think of the live-action Transformer movies, and I think they're garbage, mostly. The first one is okay. The second one's terrible. And I didn't bother watching any of the rest because they look terrible. Whatever you think of the Michael Bay live-action Transformers movie, Michael Bay and Paramount, whoever it was, at the very least understood the importance of having Peter Cullen voice Optimus Prime. Sadly, they did not see the importance of having Frank Welker voice Megatron. But 1 out of 2 isn't bad. I mean, you can't get Chris Latta to voice Starscream because he's been dead for a long time. Yeah. They just did a Paw Patrol movie. I don't know anything about Paw Patrol. But my guess, because they do this a lot, is they did not use the television voice cast for Paw Patrol for the live action movie, they probably, it's like, oh, it's Justin Timberlake and Mia Kunis and as a voice. It's like the kids. No one cares. The only ones who care are the kids who like the show, and they're all wondering why Larry Puppy and Susan Puppy sound different. So, and the Cafe Foxes, and then the Smash Brothers Multiverse crossover movie. Yeah, damn right. Yeah, just get the original actors. Because it would be like, you know, if you're going to do the My Little Pony movie, then you get Tara Strong and Tabitha St. Germain and the others. And you know what? They did. And it was good. It would have been weird if they stunt casted the My Little Pony movie. The Friendship is Magic movie. I'll be interested to... It's interesting because My Little Pony: A New Generation just came out on Netflix a day or two ago. And that's, from my understanding, going to subsequently be a television series. I will be interested to see if the voice cast from the movie is actually the voice, which includes Vanessa Hudgens and some others, is going to be the actual voice cast for the show. My guess would be not. My guess is they stunt casted the movie and they're just going to get working actors to do the show. I don't know. Trigger says at the end of the movie, Mario should visit another Nintendo IP and tell them about the Smash Initiative. Or Master Hand just reaches out of a pipe and grabs it. Or no, he just, they're relaxing at home and they get the mail and it's the Smash envelope. What's this? It's an invitation. Smash cut to black. So, anyway, you don't have to stunt cast your animated movies. Nobody cares. Literally no one cares. And prove me wrong. Find me someone who's like, oh, they're making a full-length animated He-Man movie? Who are they gonna get to play He-Man? Tom Hanks. Now I want to see the animated He-Man movie. No one cares. They just want to see He-Man. And why wouldn't you get He-Man to voice He-Man? Whoever voiced He-Man. I actually don't remember who voiced He-Man in the 80s. There have been a couple voices because had a different actor in the early 2000s one, and then the Revelations one, and then the Skylanders one, which I still haven't watched because I don't want to. I said I was going to watch it for debut review, and I keep putting it off because I just don't want to watch it. I'm sure it's fine. It's probably just... It's likely just not for me. It's hard having all the answers. You think to yourself, Andrew, I mean, if you have all the answers, why aren't you, rich and running the show? I guess because I'm lazy. Oh yeah, I've got all the answers. I'm just too damn lazy to employ them in a way that would be beneficial. All right, that's the podcast for tonight. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoy my rambling. Join me tomorrow, Sunday stream, noon Pacific Standard Time. We will be playing Metroid Fusion. I've been working my way through the Metroid games I've missed over the summer in preparation for Metroid Dread, which we will be playing during the Extra Life charity event in early November, so look forward to that. So, Metroid Fusion tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there. In the meantime, sleep well. Bye-bye.